Hi, this is Gilbert Wardy, and I'm the host of the show To Your Health. And we have a wonderful guest with us today. His name is Dr. Friedemann Schaub. I have had Friedemann on my show about 3 other times, and I asked him to come back again because we have such wonderful things to talk about. We're talking about the mind-body-spirit connection. Dr. Schaub began in Germany as a medical doctor. And he was in the study of cardiology when he got a little bit disenfranchised or disappointed in the amount of true healing he was bringing about. So he graduated into a study of microbiology, and then he got his PhD here at the University of Washington in that, and then he stepped into the whole area called the mind-body-spirit connection. So won't you please join me in welcoming Dr. Schaub to our show. Friedemann, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Gilbert, for having me again. It's always fun to be here.
Really great to have you back. I just love your story. I love the whole area that you've stepped into. I realize that really is, true healing comes from this whole area of the mind, body, spirit, and so little attention is given to that, especially in the Western medical system. We look at drugs, and surgery is the answer and the be-all to any problems that we have. So today we're going to talk about a whole area called the mind clutter and cluttering the mind. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that. But first of all, I would like you to tell the audience a little bit about how you got from medical doctor, which is a very, very successful profession, into this whole area of mind, body, spirit connection. That's a huge and dramatic shift. Some people might even say that you're out of your mind. But, I think you're really in your right mind and going in this direction. But maybe you could tell people a little bit about how you got from there to here and why you do what you do today.
Well, I didn't have this in my mind, I have to tell you, but it's certainly something that evolved over time. And it started with just watching in cardiology, chronic illnesses. People with a heart attack, 30% of the people come back to the same hospital with a second or third heart attack, despite all the medications they take, despite all the dietary changes they are making. And the question for me was always, why? What happens? And talking to patients about their experience and what was going on before they had the physical problems often showed that they were beforehand under an enormous amount of stress. And there were a lot of pressures that also led, of course, to high blood pressure. And most people know that there is a direct relationship between how we feel and high blood pressure or other chronic illnesses. So that's something, unfortunately, that in Western medicine doesn't get addressed, partially because there is also no time.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in a very big university hospital, and there's just such a great flow-through of patients that there is just no time to really address the individual. And so over time I felt I'm better served to go into research because it fascinated me to look at how each cell is actually working. And as a molecular biologist, my eyes got pretty big realizing that we were actually not told the entire truth in medical school. In medical school, you're pretty much told that the body is fallible and you focus on pathology and you focus on the problems. In molecular biology, you look at what actually the cells are able to do, at the miracles that are really performed on a daily basis. And as an observer, as a researcher, you're just in awe. You just wonder, how does the body do this? How can we actually understand what one single cell is able to perform, and we still don't. And so there's just magic inside of us, and my question then over the years was, what does actually create those amazing healings and changes on an individual cellular level? And that's when I got into studying the subconscious mind. I was really curious, how does our subconscious, meaning that part of us that regulates our breathing without having to think about it, the part of us that is in charge of our emotions, the part of us that let us just brush our teeth and drive to work without really having to consciously be aware of it, how does that really play into keeping us healthy? But also, how does it play into potentially getting sick? And how can we use the subconscious to get well again in a more holistic way. And that's what I'm doing now.